This stream contains fast flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised.
Today, two teams are looking for their first win of the stage, and two more are fighting to get to the top of the standings. Hello and welcome to week 2 of VCT Americas, coming to you live from the Riot Games Arena here in beautiful Los Angeles, California. My name is Zoe and I'm joined by Sean, Gareth and Anders. And as California residents, we're obligated to first thing talk about either traffic or any occurrence of weather. It's gloomy outside. What's going on?
Oh my God, no. See, I can walk, you know. I don't drive myself anymore. I go out into the beautiful outdoors. You should try it sometime. It's great.
Yeah, I got stuck in traffic on the way in. You know, I was late.
You barely made the show.
Yeah, I actually barely made it. So everything's good in that front. We got the traffic, not the weather, though. So.
That's right. Okay, we got one thing checked off our list.
It's kind of chilly.
It is chilly.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that. But you know what? Things are going to heat up here in the arena today because we've got some banger matches.
That's a host right there.
I'm here literally all weekend. Get paid for it. Now, we had a great week already here at Kickoff Stage 1 just a few days ago, and we want to experience it once more through the eyes of our beloved watch party friends.
Oh my God.
Olha o Jorginho, que rato, velho. Nossa, o Jorginho é muito rato. Ele é muito rato, velho.
He's so good. He's so good. Dude. Bro, he's actually so good, bro.
We get it. It looks all too over here in favor of 100 Thieves.
Wait, what? Espinhou.
Meu Deus,
espinhou. Pode,
Você foi destruído, cara. Sai do que vai desarmando e faz metade. Toma. Pegou. É ele, pô. Three. Oh my God. Did he win that? This guy just turned into John Wick. What the f?
Why is Asuna sending it in a 5v4? Bro, you just took down the Cypher. Oh my God, that's a nice.
Shut the f up. You're such a hater and you're always wrong.
I love the energy every single coach room brings, and then we get this one at the end. But yeah, some of those teams took us on an emotional roller coaster last week.
I mean, TMV calling anyone a hater is just...
That's comedy.
That's blasphemy, no? That's crazy. I'm just glad I wasn't on there crashing out in the 100 Thieves game.
Were you having a hard time?
That was also just 1-on-2 PTSD moment right now.
To be fair, that one was worthy of crashing out.
No, it was painful.
At least we didn't have to, see anything from map 3. That got a little bit worse.
Okay.
Well, it's been exciting. It's been very exciting to say the least. Of course, we're coming into stage 1 with a new meta, a new patch. We have 2 maps back in the map pool we haven't seen for a while. So I want to chat a little bit about Ascent and Icebox and talk about what we used to see and the tiny little glimpse of the new meta that is currently evolving still. Let's start with Icebox here. What do you got?
Yeah, so Icebox is a little bit less set in stone in terms of like the old meta, because you had teams that were playing maybe some like Harbor Viper, double smokes ideas. You'd have other teams that were playing a lot more double initiator, for example, with the Gecko coming in the past. But I was really surprised to see so much Tejo and even the Yoru coming out from Leviathan last week.
The Yoru is crazy. I mean, look at how powerful some of this Tejo util is. You can see the missiles to take the site, pairing with the Sova. They have 2 drones.
Yeah.
And a Yoru that can TP across the map. Yoru typically isn't picked very much on Icebox because of the elevation changes. You typically see some of the jets, and we've even seen Waylay busted out here. So it was cool to see the Yoru used, but not a lot of success on the defensive half right there for Lev.
Do you expect to see more Waylay? Oh, is that just
I do actually. I think when we've seen the Waylay, it's hit or miss, but the teams that are making it hit are showing kind of the direction to go in, and the more that happens, the more likely it is to be incorporated.
Yeah, and I would say, like, out of the maps re-entering the pool, Icebox, in a sense, are 2 of Waylay's better maps, where you can really abuse the elevation, attacking an A site, for example, on Icebox. You can boost up Yellow B main as well. So there's definitely some options to get that agent back in the mix.
If we're looking at Ascent, then we can basically go back to the same talking point. If we looked at what G2 brought into the mix, we saw that Waylay, of course, having players like Jogamo who are just very well-versed on the movement abilities kind of agents.
Yeah, and check
That's a
out
good
this.
look.
So this is the quick tiles flash dash from back in the day. We see the default comps here. Nothing crazy. And typically what would happen is you would force everyone into the KJ setup on A. Well, now when we look at this new Ascent, the whole setup is completely different on tiles crunches. And this is actually Jogamo using the Waylay to pop into the market player, who's typically a support player, catching them completely off guard. We've seen that in EMEA also with Miniboo doing the same thing.
Yeah, and he was throwing like the oh my gosh, the hinder effect as well into that smoke too. So when he's dashing in, it's like impossible to trade him out. I think there's a lot of cool exec ideas that you can run with that agent. And really to me, the big difference between a Waylay compared to a Jet is not having sort of the smoke to chuck at your feet right when you enter. So you have less tools to like stall for yourself once you get into the site. So it either requires you to A, have better utility following you up to make sure you're hitting enemies, or even using things like omen smokes from your teammates to dash into.
And I mean, on top of that, imagine going into that A site instead of the KJ mollies, which don't really stall you out. They can be broken. You have thorns that just you don't move.
So annoying.
It just bogs you down completely. They have a wall there, a flash for a flood in. The kit for Vice is very well situated for this type of tactic.
I'm curious though what you think, because like to me, I see the merits of running a Waylay on this map, but I still think Yoru is so powerful, especially when it comes like having the clone to bait out things like Vi's utility. The ultimate 2 to hit a site is still really strong.
It really is, and I think it's a tough choice for a lot of coaches, IGLs right now. Do you want to even go double duelist with both of them, right? Have a Yoru pounce while you're using this Waylay util. We've seen, T1 win a tournament running double duelist all 5 maps in a grand finals. I never thought this day would come, but here we are. Here we are. It's the dawn of the duelist, right?
I do love that though, and also from the interviews we heard from last week, it was a lot of the players themselves trying to make a case for them to be able to play certain agents in those mixes. So I'm excited to see what all of these teams have in store for us today. But let's take a look at our standings to see how it's been shaping up thus far after just 1 week of play. This is where we're currently standing.
A lot of 1s and 0s I'm seeing.
Yeah, well.
No, I think the biggest result, at least in my mind, was like the Sen 100 Thieves game, because I think that 100 Thieves was a team that you'd expect to be challenging for some of the top spots in that group. Sentinels winning that really eases their strength of schedule remaining. Like if they can take down a crew today, they're looking great for the rest of the stage.
I think that one was a little shocking based on how map 3 went, but historically, Sen just, they saw 100 Thieves. Let's be real. I think the craziest thing, though, was C9 again taking out NRG. Like, this is getting ridiculous. This is actually getting ridiculous. C9 destroys FNS squads.
Especially after what we've seen from NRG on map 1, but we'll be digging into that in just a little bit. First, once again, a reminder that the top 4 teams in each of our 2 groups will be qualifying for the Stage 1 playoffs, and the top 3 teams from playoffs will then head to Masters Toronto. And the tickets are available right now, but hurry. You gotta hurry up because they're going really fast. So make sure to scan the QR code to see what's still available for you today. Now, later on today, 2 teams who are very eager to punch their tickets to Toronto will be going at it. It's going to be Sentinels and Crew Visa who will be squaring up. But first, we've got NRG versus Furia. And both of these teams desperately need to pick up their first victory off the stage. So let's dig into this one. Let's discuss, because NRG, they came into the Kickoff tournament with so much hype.
Yeah.
So many exciting players. How is this going to look like? Well,
we know how that turned out.
Yeah, we knew how it turned out. All right. But then this week, they faced off against exactly the same scenario. It was that long-haired brick wall of C9 taking them down. Zephyr and Kickoff had a lifetime game, and he did it again.
Yeah, it was so shocking to see the history sort of repeat itself there, especially after this first map, because I think all things considered, NRG come in with a new player in Brock. He looked solid in this opening map. NRG's defense in particular was really lights out, so much that me and Mimi are casting this game and being like, NRG are back, like their fundamentals look so good. And then we moved on to map 2.
Yeah, and map 2, it kind of just, the cracks started to show right there on Fracture. And when we hit map 3, it was an NRG that I don't think any of us were expecting. The double duelist on an FNS team that typically works the map is very methodical. And yes, Ethan can play this Yoru, but he's also one of the best initiators in our region. And I question whether that comp and that philosophy is going to work for this team moving forward.
Because it didn't even, to me at least, feel like they were playing it in the way that T1 ran a lot of those rounds. Because like T1, they would use so many like execs, especially using like neon walls to make little pockets for the Yoru TPs to go into. And NRG, when you think about how Finesse likes to call an attack side, it's very slow, working the center of the map, seeing what they can find. It didn't seem like it really suited their preferences at all.
FNS likes to color in the lines, and if you color out of the lines, you might find yourself off of the team. Whereas T1, they're just a team of playmakers. That's what they do. People like Meteor are just making plays, Izu making plays, Buzz making plays, and that's what you have to do when you run a double duelist. You can't play this slow, methodical style. So if NRG run that, which I don't think they should, they really should change their philosophy on how they approach the maps themselves.
Well, they have some more footage now, you know, they got to download. That's the whole FNS thing. So week 2, everything will change. Might be some cope in the mix here. But let's check in on how NRG is feeling heading into week 2 and hear what Coach Mike's had to say to Riv.
I am joined by Mike's HD before their game today. Change to coach is always one of the biggest ones we can see. Are you guys expecting a bit of that growth period, or you feel like you can hit the ground running?
Definitely a little bit of a growth period. I mean, we know making roster changes in the middle of the year is always an issue. With the map changes, agent changes, I think other teams are encountering that. So I don't think anyone is super far ahead of us. Our goal is just to try to get better each week, each day, and just keep making progress.
And what's the focus coming into week 2 now?
Yeah, I think in our first week versus C9, our map 1 looked really good. And then the last 2 maps, there's a lot of details that we messed up. So it was a lot more small details and team play, like comms were the big focuses.
Good luck in the games today. Thank you.
Now, Mike's coming into this NRG team talked a lot about sort of bolstering up their defensive ideas early in rounds and also just working on straight-up fundamentals. And I think that was on full display in NRG's defensive half of Lotus versus C9. Now, I just want to show you here this early fight they take into Sand. Now, ignore the fact it's a disaster from Vic failing this teleport out of the corner here. It's unfortunate. He gets owned by utility and the swing from Mata. But after NRG get a numbers advantage, they are never throwing rounds. It's really impressive. You consider the situation at the start of things here. It's a 5-on-4 situation, and NRG have seen 4 players over towards this C side. And you have to put yourself in the mind of an attacker here, because if you're opening so heavily into Sand, you very often are either going to have a lurker playing into the A space or into the B space. So what NRG choose to do is to go ahead and open this door and clear out into front B. By doing so, it stops any opportunity for a late pinch to come in through there and to re-hit into the C space, but it also gives them a much faster rotation into A if the attackers decide to bank off of that lurker and speed up into the Vise. So they go ahead and clear front B. They suss that out. They've got a stun in Ethan's hand in case they run into anyone. And then off of the audio of these players running in and also this Teo drone scanning out front B, they get this full rotation on over into the A site. And this is going to work beautifully for them because they've got the Breach ult ready to go. Som also has the Omen ult, so he can reposition from the C side of the map. And what NRG continue to do over on this side is not really bother any time with their first rotates coming in through stairs. They know there's a deadlock on the other side, so they come flying over here. Breach is holding the ultimate to hit this entire site if anyone comes on through. And even Finesse is playing backside to make sure he's not overextending and taking an early fight. They are ready to stop this hit and punish C9 if they keep coming. But we'll go ahead and check out another round where it's a similar situation for NRG, where they actually, again, managed to find 2 kind of miracle kills here. Mata, kind of insane that he gets that. But out of 5-on-3 with only 40 seconds left on the clock, look how NRG choose to play the map. At first, right, they're going to group up and put 2 players over onto this B side. But then once they realize that, hey, there's players still continuing into this A space, again, they retreat over towards A, leaving a big gap onto B, but that's okay because you look at the positions these players are holding, right? Look how deep they are, holding for heaven, holding this walk if the C9 players continue to creep forward. I mean, hell, even Omen is playing an angle back here and he's gonna fall back to playing an even shallower angle for the rest of the team because what NRG don't want to do is give you an early fight. They're playing very strong fundamentals after they have numbers. Even over on A, again, not taking fights over here, no. Neon's playing the most passive passive angle possible. Bleach is holding her back from up in heaven, and even Taeho can rotate quickly into A if it ends up being a hit. This is what I mean when I say NRG do a very good job of playing with the numbers advantage, and when they have an early lead, they are very good at closing rounds out. The challenge for a team like Furia will be not allowing those early kills to be handed over to them.
Very good.
You like that? Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thing, Sean. I know you're good up there.
You know, it's cool that the way you say it now is where you yelled at me last night for this.
Did I yell at you? I don't remember.
No, you didn't. I'm making stuff up on the internet.
Starting drama.
I was here for a beef. I'm like, please do say.
I'm like, was I sleep tweeting?
It does happen to some of us.
It was cool though, because honestly, their starts were so bad without mics. So seeing NRG come out the gate swinging was a refreshing look. It's just what happened on map 2 and 3.
Yeah,
Can they fix that?
They have to turn it up today. Because if we're looking ahead at their schedule for the rest of stage 1, it's not getting any easier. I think they got a pretty tough one ahead of themselves. And if they're not getting those dubs right now, they might be missing out.
I mean, you've got G2, then you've got Osphos, then Leviathan. It gets grim.
Wait, Osphos. What about Verno?
That's even better. You're so right. You're so right.
This is gonna go crazy.
So we are here for the drama. I love that.
Yeah. It's really bad news if NRG lose today. You're losing against probably the 2 weaker teams in the group.
Actually over. It's actually over.
Okay, just doomsaying straight out of the gate. Love that. But yeah, pressure is on for all of these players. Of course, especially for the newer additions. Brock was brought in over Verno. And quite frankly, though, if we're looking at the debut performance, yes, they did lose, but Brock played really well. He got those impact kills. He clutched it out for the team, not just once or twice. Like, he's putting in the work, clearly, and he seems to fit well.
My goat, Brock. I love this kid. Brock is someone that was on SR for, our run for the last couple of years, and going back, this guy has been a top prospect for a long, long time, but stayed true to his team in Tier 2. He got the call up from NRG, and I was shocked, personally, because I think everyone expected NRG to be one of these top teams in the league. I'm so happy for the kid to end up on this team in place of Verno. He has some of the best first bullet accuracy I think I've seen in the game. That is where his strong suit is. If you get him in these isolated mid to long range fights, it's free for him.
Do you think that he, coming into like a system like Finesse with NRG, where it's like very controlled type of game plan, is that sort of a position he thrives in, or does he like to take a little bit more individual agency in the rounds?
I think Brock is the type of player that will literally chameleon into like any team, right? He is just like Mata, actually. They're cut from the same cloth. They're great teammates. They will do whatever they're told. They will die for the team if you ask them to do that. They will show up to practice every day on time, and they will bring a positive energy. Like, they are excellent team players, and all the things that we've previously heard happening in NRG, I think with these two making up 40% of their team, I know Mike isn't really a toxic guy either, obviously. They're heading in the right direction in NRG when it comes to just, does this feel good? Like, coming into work every day, does it feel good? And I think they're gonna enjoy the game a lot more, and that will lead to wins, truthfully.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
Yep, sold. Absolutely sold. Yeah, Brock definitely impressed in his debut performance. And historically, if we're looking at the matchup between those two teams, NRG did have the upper hand. Furia barely even got a map in the last
four times.
Yeah, so it's historically, of course, with different rosters. Slight caveat.
Yeah, it's trending worse because the time they got the map was the first time they faced in 2023. So they actually haven't won a map in 2 years.
Yes, and no Breeze today for Havoc, but maybe
the outlook is better
with
the map pool.
NRG, though, based on these statistics.
Yeah, let's talk about the opposition then. Furia, just like NRG, they came out of the gates swinging, and they did so against the juggernaut of the league. I think a lot of people were extremely impressed with what we've seen from them having such a hot start coming into their match.
Yeah, it was a really strange one because they started out 8-0 versus G2. Basically, every single one of these swing rounds on Lotus that they needed to go their way went their way. So this lead got absolutely massive, but you could see once the side swap came in, it wasn't quite there. G2 kind of locked down. So I have a hard time looking at this series and like thinking that like Furia are on top of the world because they performed better on Lotus than T1 did versus G2. It's a very hard series to read.
It's very hard to replicate that, right?
Yeah.
When you're playing G2, you have to create your own game plan against them. They're a totally different team with how many layers and how much structure they bring into the game. But starting 8-0, that says a lot into like how much they were prepping going into that map. I was shocked personally. I think he, in this duelist role, has looked very good. I like Prize actually coming into the team as well. Khalil looks like he's kind of back to his old self. I think the team is looking scary today. And if NRG bring anything less than like a B game today, they are in for an 0-2 start.
Yeah, I mean, you said you were shocked. Literally, after the first map, Josh RT said in an interview just how much they were caught off guard. So let's hear it from him.
Josh RT, all good, all good. We got worried for a second. It was an 8-0, and we've seen G2 come back from disadvantages like this one in the past and international events and here in Americas. What are some of the things that you tell your team to make sure that you're able to recover it this way?
Well, I mean, I didn't expect them to come out punching like that, and I'm glad we got tested this early in the series. It's just about keeping poise, confidence, and just relying on the fundamentals. We were making a lot of mental errors, I would say, in the first 8 rounds, and it's just making sure like we're sharp. And so it's nothing like without some pressure that like brings the boys into focus and start like really playing the game.
I mean, it was relentless. The aggression from Furia coming into this was clearly felt by the opposition.
Yeah, and what surprised me was G2 was kind of opting into a lot of these early fights. Usually they're way more reactive with like their breach stuns. This time it was all about the early fights, and what Furia did a good job of was both opting in to those like brawls at the start of rounds on Lotus, but often also calling away from it and getting very quick plants on the other side, playing some strong posts as well. So they definitely were able to see what G2 was doing and counter appropriately.
Yeah, and I mean, they came in as the underdog, so that's some pressure off of their backs. However, they also played with a completely new player. Price has just joined them for the stage, so I'm sure that he felt the pressure as an individual, but he certainly performed for them.
Yeah, coming in from the new team 2G in the league, and very different look from someone as known as MW0, right? A huge talent, massively skilled. Prize coming into the team, a rookie a bit here, you know, unknown, more supportive in his role. And I think this will help Furia a lot. A team that has been used to, we're always talking about them being in the mud, too scrappy. This is the type of player you bring in to fix that.
It's funny, right? Because we saw Prize for half a second on 2G, then, you know, they get obliterated, so you can't really take much about an individual away from a series like that. But this opening map where they did so well on Lotus, he was the top performer for the team, which shocked me, certainly, watching their games, how strong he looked there.
I love that, though. It's just as a narrative, seeing the newcomer coming in, big shoes to fill as well in his case. So for him to do so well, love to see that from him. Let's actually hear it from him, what he had to say to Riff ahead of today's matchup.
I am here with Prize before their matchup today. Your debut match against Furia was really strong. How are you trying to replicate that and build off that strength and momentum coming up against NRG?
Eu venho me preparando todos os dias, então para mim isso já vira rotina. Sinto que cada dia que passa eu estou evoluindo, estou muito focado, disciplinado e a constância vai vindo com o decorrer das partidas e do futuro também.
Yeah, I've been practicing a lot every day, so I feel like this is, you know, helping me improve. And I feel like this is, you know, it's only getting better with the next games and the future.
All right, can't wait to see it. Good luck. Thank you.
Look, sometimes you watch great rounds of Valorant, and sometimes you watch this. Sometimes you're asking what just happened, and this is one of those rounds from Furia against G2. Now, things to pay attention to here. First of all, G2, it's an eco round, right? They've got a hero rifle on Leaf. That's just about it. And Furia are going to craft up a plan to use this Your ult to try and win the anti-eco. So let's check out what they're actually trying to do in this round. Well, the initial setup from Furia has 3 players over towards the A side. And we're going to see this Your ult go in through mid with a teleport primed and ready over to go for a quick 3-2 split into the A site. It's a nice play, and they're even going to like fake out that it's going to be a B split initially with this Your ult. They're going to drop an Omen smoke top mid to say, hey, we're going to be running up here. The Yoru's going in. It's going to be great. But actually, there's that teleport, and that's going to be the fake out to get a split into A. Except G2 don't really play by the rules on this front because G2 are running an active plan on their eco themselves. They've got 3 players pushing out of A. Their 2 players were seen over onto B. So Furia now are in kind of trying to figure out what's happening, trying to figure out how to react. What they know is that mid is a huge gap on the map, right? All 5 players have been seen on the extremities, so it's time for, hey, Heat, get active up in mid. This Yoru 2 can maybe go for some kind of a lurk, but that all implies that they're gonna be able to deal with this push where they lose a player. So now they're actually calling Prize over to the B site. They think, hey, maybe we can like pinch these players back in spawn, deal with them nicely. But because Furia have now separated and this KO is isolated, they actually call Prize back in because we can't leave this guy by himself. Also, the Waylay could have pushed up into main, so Prize is in spawn, like still buying a gun or something, as again, these players are pushing into their spawn. What is going on? The Spike is in our spawn, we've got 2 players in their spawn, Prize is still buying a gun, and G2 are reacting. So Furia are now in a position where everyone's kind of on their own island trying to accomplish something on their own while the walls close in. G2 are coming in for the pinch. Again, our Spike is solo B. KO hasn't moved. What is actually happening? Furia, where are you going? Keep your eyes on the prize. This guy is still in spawn. They're in their spawn on the other side. It doesn't make any sense. And Havoc's trying to make a hero play. He's like, I've got to do it all on my own. So he sets up a teleport. Someone's in heaven. Leaf kills him. And now Heat is still here in their spawn. Don't ask what's happening in A main right now. Look at this. Look at our spacing. What happened to our spacing? KO's here. Prize is in spawn. He hasn't left his spawn. It doesn't make any sense. And now his teammates are all falling. They're all going to die. His last friend, Heat, he tries to get something on 1 kill, 2 kill. It's looking beautiful, but he ends up dying. And Prize hasn't crossed the barrier before his entire team has died.
Jesus. You sound heated. Are you furious?
Okay, listen. The round was not a masterpiece, but the illustration certainly was.
That was beautiful.
I've seen things.
I'm crying.
And so have we all.
I've seen things.
And this one kept us up at night, so I'm glad that you clarified for us or showcased it once again. Now, something to maybe help us, calm down a little bit.
Right.
Good artwork.
Okay,
Can I interest you in a round of Vincent Fan Go? Because earlier this week we put out the ask of our audience to draw their superstars of VCT. So let's take a look at what is this? What is happening?
Who let the dogs out?
For free too, or
one big hand and one huge hand.
We obviously have to guess who is being drawn. Who's being portrayed.
And fans drew all of these.
I would assume
and
so.
We have good artists. Our fans are good artists.
How dare you? I mean, look at this.
Oh, that's actually really good.
What's going on
Josh.
with the hair?
That has to be Josh.
Yeah. It's the smile for me.
The scrapbook is a giveaway, no?
I thought it's the smile.
The smile.
I think this is so him.
And by the way, League fan Jinwick the Fourth, I see you. I see you.
What's that?
You can get it. Jin's a champion in the league. Don't worry about it. Okay.
Ooh.
Apples. Zekin.
Ooh. Is it?
This is almost like
it's a height of
clip
3
art
apples,
stock
so it
imagery.
has to be someone small, right?
Yeah.
Depends on the apple.
Everyone's small to me, so I'm gonna go Zekin.
That's true.
That looks like Zekin's hair to me.
I'm feeling a
Is
Zekin
it an
too.
insider joke though? Is he 3 apples high? Or is it an apple a day?
No.
What is happening?
I'm not that
Someone
deep
help.
into Sen City. I haven't infiltrated yet. Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, it was.
Why is his hair floating? Like he
You're
just got
asking
like
some
the one that got away.
It's the art trick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's kind of good.
What the? Wait, I'm not really sure who it is though.
I don't know, but it's pretty.
Who is that?
Who has cat ears?
Is that like? I mean, Vanity used to have cat ears.
Yeah, but
That's
surely we're not doing Vanity. We need glasses too. I might go out there. I might say Zelsis.
No.
I was thinking that too.
No.
Who else could it be?
I don't know. I don't know who else would put the cat ears
Oh man,
on.
we're stumped actually. This is rough.
Yeah, the reveal. We do not know.
Oh, this is rough.
Anybody know?
Brock, what?
Wait, who is Brock is putting the cat ears on?
No, the Brock
I don't know this.
No, the Brock gun wouldn't be caught dead in those cat ears. No way.
It's fiction. It's a piece of fiction.
Yeah.
Oh my.
It's the lean in for me.
That is zesty.
That's Celsius.
By the
Celsius,
No,
no.
I said zesty. But yeah, I could see.
I think it is Celsius, though.
The eyes.
It's a zesty Celsius.
Facial hair.
That's the Celsius.
It's the lean impulse for me. I think that's he captured him well.
It's the buy the send bundle for me.
It's the buy the send bundle. That one gave it away. Well, that's fair. That's fair. I'm ready. Now we're warmed up. We got the artwork. We got the illustration. The only thing left for us to do is get the game. So let's get ready for week 2. It's almost underway. It's NRG versus Furia, Sentinels versus Visa. All of that starting right now.
Cara, a partida contra a NRG vai ser uma partida muito legal, digo da minha parte. Eu nunca enfrentei ninguém da NRG lá, então acho que vai ser um confronto bem legal.
Obviously, we made a roster change going into stage 1. It's definitely nice to be reunited with an old teammate in Brock. There was a lot of rounds that he won us, and I was getting so hyped. It was cool to see him just like destroying on stage, because I know it's something he's been dreaming of as well.
The smoke on the spike, it's up to half now. NRG choose to pull one out, but they go one in. Brock finds 3 with the Guardian.
Eu acho que a adição do Brock vai ser uma coisa interessante, mas se ele merecer essa oportunidade é que ele tá jogando bem, então acho que vai ser interessante jogar contra ele também.
Trent's on for a 4-piece, potentially the ace round to the corner. Sigma half is necessary. Red Bull clutch reprise.
E a gente tá se preparando bastante, estamos mudando umas coisinhas aí e a gente tá vindo preparado para enfrentar a NRG também.
NRG is here looking to course correct in stage 1 with a new coach and a fresh face in the lineup. They came out strong in their opening map. Ultimately, they did lose the series, so they need to take it up to another level today. Now, Furia, same thing, right? This team still hunting for their first win of stage 1. Despite losing a key player, they came out swinging against G2. I want to see that same fight coming onto the service today.
I'm loving the split screen. Both teams rolling out here at the same time, getting ready for the match. Even cracking a few jokes, it looks like, before the fist bumps. These teams both in big needs of wins today.
I love that, walking out, looking each other down the barrel like that. Oh man, the new walkouts go crazy. Holy. I think this is such a big game for both of these teams. So we mentioned it before, falling 0-2 in this group. Oh man, Furia had it rough starting G2 NRG as their opening 2 games. If NRG drop this game with some of their coming matchups, this could be it for them. And FNS, he said this might be his last year.
Yeah.
He's been public about that. So this loss could sting really, really hard for NRG today.
Yeah, especially after what happened during kickoff. I think when you consider how quickly the stage moves, right? You think last year how Sentinels came off hot Alpha Madrid and then lost their first few games and then they're not even making it to the playoffs, fighting for it. Losing today is so bad.
I mean, thinking about how things changed, remember Furia that opening season after week 4 or something? Everyone thought Furia was the best team.
Yeah, Plat Chat, #1 team in America.
I thought Furia was the best team in the world at that time. And then they just fell off of a cliff, right? That can happen in VCT. And the opposite can happen too for a team like Furia or NRG where things can just click. And all of a sudden they're perfectly synergized, they're making all these micro plays. If that can happen for either of these teams today, it'll be cinema.
It will be indeed. I mean, again, both of them came out swinging just last week. It's a relentless schedule, an unforgiving schedule. They need those victories on the board. Where should they take us to get it done?
I mean, well, it looks like we're going to be heading over to Lotus, which obviously Furia are going to be feeling very good about. NRG choosing to start there, which is also where NRG looked strong, where their opening fights were going their way, and their defense especially was very nice.
Yeah, and then Furia go into Pearl. That was the NRG double duelist comp, and we have a lot of questions about that. Do they bring the double duelist out again on Pearl? I think Furia's expecting it, and they're ready to punish it.
It's kind of hard to adjust, a week later. You only have maybe 3-4 days of practice to get ready to go.
They did look good during kickoff, though, on Pearl. They won it twice, I think, during kickoff, so they're not stranger to the map. They did make adjustments, of course, meta-wise.
Cove, never forget. Never forget. Pearl has treated them so bad over the years.
We'll see. Honestly, I'm very interested in how Furia sort of like take these early fights, seeing how NRG tried to play, because it was pretty evident to me that, again, NRG, once they got advantages, they would give up so much space on the map. They play very low information, and I think there's a team like Furia that will sort of realize that after watching the VODs and try to exploit that even when they do fall behind.
Yeah, and one of the more dangerous things in VCT Americas, in my opinion, all these years watching, is picking Lotus to open the series of the day. A lot of teams have tried this, and here we have the comp coming in from NRG, the Neon going with the Teo Breach, Vice to lock down probably the C site. You know, they'll occasionally probably move FNS over to that A site and do some mountain pushes. He on the Clove again. I love this comp. It's a play off of that EDG Champs comp for Lotus, and you'll see Clove dominate Mound all game long.
Yeah, our teams are set, and it's time for the first pistol round of the weekend. So let's send it over to your casters. You're always chatty, Duck and Baby Bay.
Thank you so much, guys. I think the Death Stray put it together very well. I think there was a lot of pressure on the shoulders of NRG right now. You think about the rest of the teams they're going to play in the coming weeks. It's early, but this kind of feels like a must-win.
Yeah, you're going up against G2, MIBR, and then Leviathan at the end, the very last match. And I mean, every week that goes by, Leviathan are going to get better and better and better. So you kind of have to secure this win, just like Sean was saying. Otherwise, it's just going to be rough pickings.
The appetizer for what very well may be a 3-course meal is Lotus. It's time for the Samsung match start. Load up fast with Samsung SSDs. There's been much made about how successful NRG are on their defensive side, which is where they will be kicking things off against Furia here. A heavy lean towards A from the attack.
Yeah, a little bit of space denial here from the side of NRG. I don't know if there's going to be much follow-up unless this door is tapped. Here comes that set piece of utility, Havoc. He's already taken all that space, though, and now it's kind of quiet from the side of NRG.
Yeah, not really aggressing into this. Surprisingly so.
Yeah, and I wonder what the cue would have been to actually jump the gun there and want to commit more bodies, but nevertheless, it is a good read from the side of NRG. They have 3 players anchored towards here. A lot of utility behind this as well. Neon Stun still there in the hands of Mata. You imagine whatever contact is made, he's going to use that either on the door or the choke.
Brock getting spotted on jump spot, taking a little bit of damage. Havoc has crept forward a fair amount, but much like you were saying earlier, Dre, it felt like it's just been a lot of yellow light for NRG. They have not pulled the trigger yet.
Yeah, stun. It's going to be coming up shortly.
Tap of the door, second rotation of utility coming through. You see the salvos through and a split towards B. A lot in the shoulders of Sam here. He will be the first to fall at the hands of Heat. The site is all furious.
Now it's all a retake right now, and it's so slow. Look at how much space is being gathered. Actually, they're pivoting again towards C.
But they're pivoting into all of that Vice utility. One Thorn has been popped. The flash has already been cleared. There's still one to play around. Again, Heat in a position to continue to play spoiler, and that's what he does. 3 on the round for the Clove. And a rough pistol for NRG.
The pseudo-duelist, and Brock, yeah, he gets 1, but it's cleaned up by Furia, manipulating the rotations of NRG on their defensive side. And this is just so impressive because when you think about Furia, when we watched them last, it was kind of just, okay, we're just going to dip you with our mechanical talent. But to see the way that they just ran around NRG on this pistol round just shows that they have been prepped for this matchup.
Yeah, I think it's one of the luxuries that a map like Lotus allows you, right? You can go ahead and make it look like you're hitting B after you've taken all the same main space and end up C, and by then you're so far ahead of the defensive rotation. It's pretty easy at that point. We'll see if Furia can capitalize on that success they found in the pistol round. 3 Bulldogs and a Stinger.
Yeah, NRG right now just trying to get some type of value, and it will be that orb that I believe is gathered onto Brock. Getting ever so closer to that Tejo ultimate. And there's not much you can really do here when your weaponry is just so out of the league. I mean, maybe you can catch out Heat here, but he's just sitting there with a ghost. We saw how sharp his shots were in that pistol round. I mean, so far, Sam and Finesse have done enough delaying here that it allowed Furia to run into the stack of NRG, but I mean, Heat, he's going for more right now. He's overhealed.
I mean, they've got to tuck tail and run away. You look at the health bars on a couple members of NRG, and there's not much there. So Havoc now pushing the pace, sliding through. Brock dealt with. Ethan will fall too. And now it's just full sails ahead towards A.
An awesome anti-eco from Furia, not walking into any of these traps, and he's getting close to that Clove ultimate. He's picking up another 3K. That's back-to-back rounds. Sam, I mean, probably wanting to drop to the spike around here. I mean, if he can get an actual bulldog out of one of the members of Furia, that would be more than ideal. But so far, Furia look like they've been dealing with the pressure of this Tejo breach on the defensive side really well. It's still really early on, though. We'll see when the guns go in more of a balanced favor.
Yeah, this is about where, this is where we expect, if things are going to turn, they're going to start to turn right now that NRG have guns, and again, maybe a little bit more equal of footing, although it will be a bonus for the attacking side. We take a look at this positioning again from Heat, who I've lost count of how many kills he has so far, but he's been on an insane start.
And it's the same story as Furia started against G2. They started off strong, and they also won the bonus. They cooked up a fast B hit. So now is around the time where maybe we're going to see Furia try to do something a little bit cheeky here. Try to just full send it, catch NRG off guard.
Light armor on 2 members. Heat 1 away from his ult.
Cover going out.
Lots of presence towards C. That's a great start for NRG.
Yeah, great opener onto Havoc. That Neon being dead, that's a lot of that aggression that can catch you off guard already out of the mix.
Rafa a little bit closer to his ult. If you decide to commit C, you're going to have to reckon with all the utility, courtesy of Finesse.
And it's so far back, too, so you can't really jump, break it, or anything. You're kind of exposed in the open. Everything right now, though, is just a distraction. If he can get activated in front B, if he can find a timing somehow, that's Furia's chance to bring this round back.
Remember, the success that he found in the pistol was mainly off of people rotating through his space. So I think you're right. Questions abound on whether or not he's going to be the one to take the initiative or play it slowly.
Yeah, and he smokes off Ethan here. That makes Brock have to rotate.
40 seconds left, or a little bit more than that. Paranoia through.
Look at the proactivity on the map right now.
They're going to be fast on the other side of it, but Heat's here waiting. And now they push back. It seems like B is open. A smoke goes through. Sam gets a kill as the door goes up. 2 members down for Furia.
Yeah, now, I mean, you kind of have to make something happen. You need some magic if you're the side of Furia Prize. We've seen him get a lot of collat kills with that Phantom before. Now, just sitting on a Bulldog.
High-low on the other side of the Worm. The dash through on the opposite side of the Flash. And that's as smooth and as easy as it'll get. NRG get on the board as Sam gets 3.
Yeah, exactly. Smooth, easy. I mean, that opening pick from Sam, just a little bit of that Phantom spam, pretty much makes the defense super fortified and not giving Heat that time of day. Ethan not dropping there at that baby door area. It just allowed for an easy cleanup in that round. And now Furia.
Send City.
Wait a second. Hang on.
Now Furia are going back to what looked like their pistol round, where they're going to be taking a lot of that A control. The only difference here is that normally Heat's on the opposite side of the map, controlling that space, feeding information to his team, trying to cut off those rotations. So maybe this is a full commit, maybe a hard read onto a setup that NRG is going to do. Then Finesse here. I mean, the cool thing about him being on Vice is there's so much utility to delay with. I mean, those Thorns, it's the best delay ability right now in the game, I would say.
And then you put that on top of Dejo salvos, and you put that on top of breach stuns, and you're right. I mean, utility reigns supreme in the era of Valorant we currently find ourselves in. And he will fall. There you see some of that delay already.
And FNS is just going to get out here, just control some of that space all the way in the back, wait for the rotations to come in. Sam is so far away still. He's so worried about Heat. Oh, Heat got taken out.
2 big kills out from Rafa. Yeah, Finesse is on the trade, but now numbers are equalized, and Sam has no opportunity, no ability to play it slowly towards C. He's got to rotate A. Oh, the problem is they're going to be able to play around Heat's smokes from this position. Brock close by. The spike now down. Again, numbers away the attack. Salvo just comes up for the Tejo. And Sam with 1 smoke to play around. Instantly dropped. Really nice shots out of the controller. Heater onto Havoc. And now Sam creeping closer. Has to wait for just a little bit longer. The Paranoia is on the mark, but wrong. On the swing. Can't connect. Khalil cleans it up. The 1v1 goes the way of Furia.
much like the series against Cloud9, when NRG is up numbers, they kind of fumble it. They're not expecting the silent walk-up approach. Furia have no other choice in that scenario. They're kind of stuck to just, the only play here is to walk up and contact the site. And it's just crazy that NRG are getting caught off guard in what seems to be another series like this. Furia are now up 3-1.
Now we win.
If they convert this next round, the economy is just done for NRG, and the snowball can be in full effect. And now, a change of pace from the side of Furia. They're just doing a 3-1-1 setup, with Heat being the solo. But this one-way has caused a lot of problems so far for the side of Furia, though. At that C-Mount area. A lot of utility now invested.
I mean, it's disrespected now. Dashing through, keep an eye on Rafa. He has his ult online. As the orb gets scooped up. Another prize claimed by the attack.
Yeah, look at the minimap. Everyone from NRG is reading into this.
I don't think that hit Sam. That didn't hit Sam. He's going to have plenty of utility to play around as well. The paranoia is great. Havoc has been set apart and now dealt with. Trying to rotate back out, yet Heat, who's playing towards B. But look at how early and how proactive NRG are in this rotation. Starting to get a jump on how Furia like to play this.
Yeah, Finesse already being that solo person towards that A site. Brock should be able to hear some of these footsteps here. That's why you see Ethan rotating over, and now it just comes to who gets the better trades, who gets the better timings here.
Ethan has stun.
All right, Finesse is going to get overwhelmed here. He's going to get swarmed.
There goes that stun, not finding its mark.
Oh my God.
Heat's in a really good spot. Depends on how much further he wants to play this, and of course, on the prowl, creeping forward. Finesse taking a step back from the fight, having to dodge a little bit more utility as Rafa hunts him down, nipping at his heels. A third on the round for the initiator. Now, the easy part.
Spike planted.
Brock left in a 1v3. Utility to play around, but decides to just go for the gun. Finds a target, cannot connect, spotting the second, and now destroyed. Rafa with 4, Furia as well.
It's these moments in the mid round, in the late round, where NRG are just not ready with the setups that they have to get the trades. And we're seeing that. We're seeing players get caught off guard. I mean, Finesse, a shoulder was seen there on the actual site. But a bit of a blunder here. I mean, it's a nice shot, but you have all this utility flooding through. You had the number game as well. Sam got an entry right away. Maybe you don't have to peek that far ahead. You play to your advantage.
There are just a couple of gaps there. I mean, even seeing Finesse die back site.
That's what I'm saying.
Heaven was not, I mean, there was somebody playing up in Heaven too.
But the trade isn't fast enough.
Right. I mean, there was no trade.
Yeah, there wasn't even a peak. So it's just a little bit off when it comes to the synergy so far for this NRG squad. And, you know, I think a perfect time for a timeout. Mike's, I mean, he's got to have these players fired up, get them fired up, remember who they are, because you're supposed to be a team that has the fundamentals down before anything. And when it comes to playing a setup in a 3v3 like that, when you kind of knew the rotations and you had them choked out, you gotta be ready for that.
Take a quick trip down memory lane. You think about all the times Furia and NRG have clashed. Furia is maybe a little early and perhaps a bit foreboding. Furia has never bested NRG in a best of 3. 4-0, the side of NRG. In fact, the maps go 8-1 in favor of NRG. They've had Furia's number for the last, what, 2-3 years, however long it's been, but...
Every iteration of the roster.
Yeah, this has been an excellent start so far. Still plenty of work to be done. A light buy for NRG on the other side of the timeout. What are the adjustments?
God, this round, it's just so difficult. You don't really have
anything?
The arsenal behind you. Yeah, I mean, you have sheriffs and light armor. I mean, gotta rely on some of that mechanical skill. But Furia, they just seem to start off so sharp. I mean, case in point, Heat. Back-to-back 3Ks to gain Furia, the lead that they have now, and getting the entry onto this round. No, the entire map is yours. Finesse had no shot there. But I like the way that Furia maneuver around this map, Doug. Like, even just a tap of the door here to keep all 3 members of NRG here. Yes, it's only an anti-eco, but the little things really go a long way.
And if you do them in the anti-ecos, there's no reason to think that you're not going to have the same preparation to do it in the gun rounds and the ones that matter.
And you could really play around with that. I mean, what if there's actually firepower behind that? What if NRG now, off the top of the door, rotate to C because of what they've seen in this round?
30 seconds.
That was an interesting investment out from Prize to drop the Nightfall here in the eco. It's not going to connect onto anyone, but at least secures the site.
Yeah, and you know, I will say though, a part of the downfall, hold up, Havoc's getting a little active here, but a part of the downfall of Furia that stopped the momentum in their previous series against G2 was getting ecoed. So, you know what? They're like, listen, we got to secure this round win.
Brock did his best to take one down. Havoc falling and a weapon upgraded into the hands of Mata, who's been nothing short of spectacular since joining NRG. Quiet start this series up.
Yeah, and what you said, he was like plus 46 on the year, which is a ridiculous stat considering NRG went 1-3.
Kills traded back and forth. He falls. The spike inevitably will go off. A little bit of financial damage done. But it seems like most of them are going to be okay to buy up anyway.
Yeah, I mean, bringing 2 guns back into the mix, too, to kind of help your own economy out. And also, Ethan getting 2 kills in that round. He's one off of that Breach ultimate now, so maybe a fight towards that A, secure that ult orb. You can use that on the retake. The problem is, are you even going to be able to do so when you're just getting contacted and getting one-shotted? It just seemed like Furia have gotten the first blood on every single round that they've won. The only round that NRG has won so far was that spam through the smoke that Sam got. And it looked clean.
That 3K?
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Well, spamming smoke again.
Yeah, but the reaction already from Furia, they haven't really finagled with B much, but that smoke, it's going to make them have to wait a little bit. And now they're clearing that C-bound area out. Very smart rotations from the side of Furia.
Remember Ethan's ult, you called it out at the beginning of the round, does have it now. Wall setting him apart once again. Havoc in a position where he's isolated and set apart from the rest of his team. No real way to back up as the Rolling Thunder comes through. Havoc falls at the hands of Finesse's utility.
Here's where it all crumbles for NRG. When they're up numbers.
Yeah, you've got to find a way to secure this advantage.
Here. And they have so much space on the map. Mata's all the way pushed up A. There's only really one spot this Furia team can be.
Yeah, it's C, because you're still spotting outside of E. Ethan is. Has his stun back up online as well. So NRG in a really good position to secure this round, get a second up on the board, but they've got to be able to win these gunfights through. Finesse standing around some of the utility, spam through the smoke, 3 on the round for him, and a second for NRG.
That's the win condition for NRG. Playing the numbers game, making Furia have to walk into your crosshair and being ready for it.
I think so much of that success was found upon the fact that Mata had taken all of that space A. You were still spotting B. As soon as they cut noise and you had everything else dealt with, you knew where they were headed.
Yeah, it paints the picture. The power of numbers in VALORANT. As we get into this next round, Furia, they want a full send at B, Doug. This is a set exec.
You mentioned in the previous round they haven't danced with this area of the map very much at all. Havoc fully pushing forward! Gets caught at the hands of Ethan. And now they resort to plan B in the books. They try to rotate back towards C.
Yeah, but this wall has been getting so much value on the C side.
Thing is, it's been Havoc that's been caught. He's not around for the rest of this one. Mata once again denying all this A main space. Heat just on the other side of the wall. Fancy footwork.
So fast. He's so quick with it.
NRG have figured something out. San drops down the paranoia through. He's got him caught. Khalil falls. Prize left in a 1v5. It was a couple of rounds ago, and it was before the eco, but I have to draw attention to Mike's call on the timeout, because it seems like since then, something has changed.
Yeah. I mean, what, they stopped throwing rounds?
whatever it is they're doing is working.
They've definitely choked out the map. They understand where Furia are going every single time now, and they're not getting first blooded. I mean, let's just keep it real. Sam, the pressure that he's been putting on the C site, getting a lot of value with that Phantom.
Rushing B on me?
And C to me? No.
That tandem was one of the reasons why people were excited about NRG again, right? You think about the introduction of them two back into the fold, and when they're vibing like that, there's reason to be excited. But I think, Dre, even just in this half, we've seen the highs of NRG, and we've seen some of the lows of NRG where people wonder, okay, is this team good enough to figure it out or not?
And here's the thing, like, everyone knows that NRG is a solid team. People were rating them as top 4, obviously, when Verno was on the roster, but I think Brock is still a good substitute for that. Yeah, they have the firepower, they have the experience. The only problem is they haven't really hit like a stride whatsoever in this year. Off-season was great, but it's just Fugazi. And when you don't play up to the standard that everybody holds you to, that's where teams that are the underdog suddenly start upsetting you and they just don't respect you anymore. So they need to make a statement here. They need to bring this half back. Honestly, they need to win this series cleanly. Otherwise, if I'm, G2, MIBR, Leviathan, I'm looking my chops.
You've got, what, 5 weeks in the split? It doesn't have to be pretty.
Yeah.
And you get the dub however you can, and that's what NRG are in hot pursuit on here. And again, the same goes for Furia. Having never bested NRG in the partnership era. Up 2 rounds here in map 1.
Yeah, not winning a map with this roster this year. We're really just trying to win their first map.
Yeah, you have to go back pretty far to look at the last time Furia won a map. It was against 2G at the beginning of the year. Like back in January.
And the thing is, that was with Turtle Troop. So.
Good stun there. Finesse gets another.
Spike down A.
They're just swinging into it. Khalil will fall too.
Yeah, just trying to take these aim duels. Finesse, he does get taken out, but Brock.
Crispy out from Brock. That was an eco, but again, any round is a valuable one here for NRG. They do so cleanly, carry 3 rifles in. The money looks really, really good. And you've got Brock Sold, who's about to be up, along with Modest. That's up now.
Wall trip.
And you're 100% correct, by the way. NRG have downloaded Furia's game plan now. They're not falling for these rotations, and they're actually quite ahead of them. I mean, 3-4 players out of sight for the last, I think, 3 rounds that NRG have won. And a lot of that has been some of this extremity denial. You can't really speed up B into the Vice either. Yeah, you can bait out those Thorns, but you're left to pivot after that. A tap of a door, just like Pistol Round, but this time, with nothing being seen, NRG decide to creep up. Mata is going to have a stun to set him up here.
Decides to stand his ground, dig his heels in. Ethan joins, but pays for it with his life. Havoc now so weak. The Rolling Thunder drop, it's not going to connect onto anyone. And meanwhile, this is very reminiscent to what NRG were doing on A, where Mata was taking all that space, but this time it's Finesse. Look at where he is on the minimap.
So aggressive.
He's fully behind them.
Mata's playing on the edge of this smoke as well. This is where it tends to fall apart for NRG, though. They have the read, but it just slips away.
Play this carefully, and you've got success.
Spike
Beautiful
down
from
A.
Finesse. Gets in, gets his kill, doesn't overheat. Forcing them into a pretty rough situation. Furia with 40 seconds left. Still have to figure out where they want to go.
And the re-clear onto Prize as well. Now the up-down, I mean...
30 seconds left.
Oh, I was going to say it's looking fruitful, but now it's a 2v2, Doug.
Khalil with 20 HP. Heath the only one who's healthy.
Spike planted.
Very interesting plant. It's not for any of the members of Furia. I mean, you could spam that box for sure, but Finesse, he's sitting very healthy here. If he can win this head-to-head against Khalil.
How does this duo decide to do this? Finesse waiting, creeping through on the other side of the door, completely decapitated by Khalil. Leaving Som in a 1v2. Ult pops, he's going to try to get it to half, decides to hold it. He's gotten it down to 1, and that's Heat on the other side of the ult. He can wait it out, gets the kill. A gorgeous 1v2 by Som to secure another round for NRG.
I mean, the pace that Som just put on that retake, he smokes the spike, taps it instantly, and yeah, Finesse drops, but the mechanical talent just showing. Som, he's in form right now. I mean, he's been in form.
One enemy remaining.
He's looked so solid. And what a play to take that one little step out of the smoke. Full commit on that kill.
Red Bull clutch through for NRG. You mentioned Sam and how good he's been. Currently sitting at 13-5. In the series against Cloud9 that they lost, he went plus 12.
Yeah.
He's in plenty good form.
A little bit of denial here from the side of NRG, but rotations have already been made. Furia looks like they want to pivot back towards B, but with that stealth drone being used, they understand that NRG knows no one's here now. They have to reclaim that space.
Ethan still has a stun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Ethan will have his stun in the next round.
He gets destroyed. And now you have to get your get back. Mata, he's going to be that guy with that operator. Whoa, just misses. Tail ultimate used though. Prize, he's stuck here.
Fully investing onto that. I thought there might be some crunch elsewhere on the map, but no. You gonna stick to that TP? Yes, you are.
Sam knows.
Pinging out on the mini map. Oh, but Khalil gets a kill onto him anyway.
I think he must have gotten timing. And now you have a free C site, but that Vice wall is still up. It's not gonna get much value here, but maybe now an opportunity for Brock to even the score.
He's gotten one. This would be a 2v4 if they can convert it. Delaying on the plan, a dink dealt. Leaving Finesse in a 1v3. Make that 2. But they're so set apart. Again, just narrowly spotting a pixel, but it's not going to be enough. Furia get to 6.
It's the rotations from Furia that are just posing the biggest threat to NRG.
Well, I think a lot of
this time it was that Omen ult.
Yeah, Khalil's ult, and then obviously Sam not being able to convert on that kill just opened everything up for the attack.
And the thing is that's not able to happen if Heat isn't so on fire with his aim right now. He is killing everybody that is peeking him on the rotations. You got to pick in B around that same time. So he just has that free sight to walk around flank, secure the 1v2. Now it's A fire for A fire. Mata, what can he do here? Just uses utility to get out. I mean, the threat of Furia at this A side has been too much.
They've got 4 members from the defense here. Finesse has his ult. Used right on cue. Havoc does too. That's 2 kills away of the defense. Now Mata exchanging with ult of his own as Khalil will crumble.
There's nothing left for you to do. You have to speed up B here. All that Vice utility is still up at C. Stealth drone to clear out water. Oh no. The silent walk up.
Yeah, but a 2v5?
Yeah.
I mean,
Spike down B.
Not enough silence in the world for that.
No way. Spike was dropped as well. The double up proactivity, pushing through A. I mean, Heat is getting swarmed right now. Mata, he does clean him up. So a great comeback to the half, though, from NRG. Right off of that timeout from Mike's.
Yeah, to be a fly on the wall there and hear what that conversation looked like, because that feels like a different NRG that we saw prior to that timeout to the one we saw in the other half of it.
Yeah, they were just getting caught off guard. I mean, players not even aware of the silent walk-ins, but the adaptation is, yo, just be ready. They're gonna walk into you. You don't need to peek into Furia.
Yeah, and honestly, that's what a lot of the success that G2 had when they were able to turn the tides. We're gonna throw it to a quick break, the rest of this map when we return.
Oof, stuck paying for that old phone? Don't be. You know, at Verizon, we'll pay off your phone. And you'll get iPhone 16 on us. That's a value of up to $1,600, only on Verizon.
Well, NRG fans have a lot to be excited about, right? They started off a little slow on the other side of the timeout. They salvaged the half. They get to 6-6, but the problem, unfortunately, is that they're headed over to their attacking side. And that was what seemed to be the Achilles heel for them last week against Cloud9 Dragon.
Yeah. Not so much on this map specifically, but you can tell that the focus of NRG has been working on their defensive sides. And I feel like, yes, their attack side IGLing has taken a little bit of a hit for that. That being said, I mean, Sam is having a banger of a map, just like he did against Cloud9. And he alone was a threat to close out the map against Cloud9. So we'll see what he could do, see what he could cook up here. He's working alongside Mata, but the spike is going towards B, and it's a trap play.
There are so many members here. Fox Drone spotting both, and you imagine that's going to be the cue to take a quick step back and choose not to fight with that.
Great bait out of utility. Now Mata, he's broken that door, and he's inserted himself so deep. He's hearing these rotations onto the A site. He's going to be feeding all this info to the side of NRG. It's going to be a tap of a door, but a B pivot.
Do they decide to contact their way through? Yeah, it seems like that's going to be the case. Neon now dashing out. Heat playing in a really good position. Was poised, was set up for some more pistol antics, but not able to convert here.
It's just so hard to hit. And every second that passes, NRG can fortify this post plant even further. There was no flood.
Which again was why Cloud9 were so successful against NRG. It seemed like they never really let him play at their own pace. Havoc and Khalil opening the site up. Forget about a flood. They might just duel their way through. Mata's left into 1v3, and he cannot convert.
Oh, man, NRG. They have the spike down, they have the positioning, but Furia had a hard read on those members that were sitting in Broken Door. That fault line that came through from water, it landed on 2 members. Havoc, it was just free for him. It's so hard to hit the Neon. I guess it only hit 1 player, but still. The fast flick. Some nice shots from the side of Furia. And they win another pistol round, putting themselves in a good spot. This is something that they couldn't do against G2. They won 1 round on their defensive side, Furia.
Well, so far they have met that mark. Looking to eclipse it here and avoid getting bonused. A Sheriff in the hands of Sam.
Util for util here at C. Causes a rotation, but sense some proactivity coming through here from the side of Furia. Maybe want to dab a little bit more, especially when Sam's going to get contact.
Remember, that's a Sheriff.
I mean,
how do you play through that?
Only Neon. Only Neon gets away from that.
Sam trying to settle the shots. It's Brock who will find lethality.
They might be able to grab that Bulldog, though. Maybe they can work something with this. Ah, there's the stun, the proactive slide from Havoc. Does not want anybody to have that weaponry.
Brock managing to upgrade on it. It's crazy to me that after all this,
One
we're still...
enemy remaining.
Well, okay, we're not anymore. Still talking about the potential of round.
Nah, Finesse is stuck alone here. I mean, there's 4 members. They know where he is.
30 seconds left.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor guy.
He was cooked.
And I will say, with that, Fries gets the upgrade to that Bulldog. Wait, he doesn't grab it? There was another Bulldog there that he could have taken. I guess he's just too happy about the anti-eco win.
Or busy shooting bodies
Yeah,
instead,
too busy.
man.
Too busy putting down disrespect. That might come back to bite them. But NRG, they're committing to a lot of this, you know, light armor and the regen armor, and this is something that allowed Cloud9 to bonus them with a lot in the previous series. So they need to be careful here. I mean, the Bulldogs can put in some really good damage against that light armor. And Phantoms across the board on the attacking side.
That's a great start. A main was theirs. They get to pick on to Khalil.
That's the power of the Phantom, man. I mean, you just can't really connect like that on the Vandal. You got to be worried about your tracers being shown. You might get spammed back.
Yeah, this is scary for NRG, though, because you had 5 outside of A at the beginning of the round. Yeah, you get a pick, but now you have to either carefully contact and be ready to trade or invest utility that you would normally not have to invest to take some of that space. If you want to go towards C, you don't know if they've taken C mound. You don't know if they pushed up B. This is a dangerous spot for NRG.
Yeah, and with Heat playing on this Clove, he's able to smoke off C on a repeat.
Look at how far back he has to drone from. And that's a drone that you're going to want to be using to clear C instead of just clearing Mound.
It's the correct play, though, to bait out one of those members to fall all the way back. Heat now drag towards that C site. It should be a 5v3 here at A. These are the best odds, though, that Furia have. All things considered, I mean, you're down one. You have 3 members here.
5v3, 5v2.5. I mean, Rafa's still on the other side of the door.
That fault line. He gets some mad damage.
There it is. The salvo's hit back sight. The stun comes through. Rafa's still waiting on the other side, and Finesse is there to greet him. Prize, they didn't clear it. They didn't clear tree. Now Brock spotting where Prize is, cleans him up. It's Heat and Havoc left. And a 2v1 Finesse, once again, forced into a position where he has to deliver.
There's just no way he's ready for drop.
No, the captain cannot convert. That's another round for Furia.
And a bonus round. So now NRG's economy, it's done. And Furia are gonna have so much money, stacks on stacks, to try to close out their first map win.
That's
yeah, just a huge blind spot. And then the bait here as well. Havoc just full committing, letting Prize go down. NRG not relying on those fundamentals. They thought they had the site for free.
You mentioned something a couple of rounds ago about NRG playing up to their competition, because otherwise it seems like teams that play against them smell. There's blood in the water and they know it.
They can just feel it.
The fact that Havoc was just out of his seat. Yeah.
With a team that's supposed to be so fundamentally sound, so disciplined, to overlook things like clearing out certain angles.
Those little mistakes.
It just allows a team to get the confidence to actually take a map win against you.
The devil's in the details. And so far, the devil is Furia. The paranoid through looks like it's going to connect onto both. With the stun on the other side, Snappy out from Heat as he gets another.
Just so ready for the front B peak as well. Heat is going to hold this up down with Havoc. But this pressure at door makes it so one of the members has to fall all the way back. This freeze to the round. Maybe NRG can work something here. Paranoia used to take the actual site. They will have that, but are they aware of Havoc here in the back? Sam.
Nice shot out from Sam, man. Rafa's on the trade, though.
30 seconds left.
And it seems like they're going to find safe passage out onto C.
Oh, Sam is the win condition.
That's 1 kill found. TP to reposition, 86 HP, no armor. And they've left Ethan to his own devices. You're on your own, a solo mission to get the spike down, and success found.
And he delays in time as well. Tap of the door. It's going to be a 2v2. You have Breach Flash to try to flood out.
20 seconds on Ethan's. Never mind. Forget about the stun. Ethan gets 3 as NRG gets 7.
What great awareness from Sam. He is the carry of this map for NRG. 17 and 9. So aware of Havoc being in B. And then turning into the lurk and cutting off rotations himself. Without Sam's heroic, this round is surely won by Furia. And Furia, they let that one slip away. Now an operator into the hands of Havoc. Let's see what he can cook with this.
Straight into action. He's playing towards A, but the spike, NRG, the rest of the hit is towards C.
A lot of utility used. This operator is going to become null.
Mada has got to be careful. He's a little bit ahead of this. Finds his one on the Heat.
Oh, so awkward.
Havoc's just on the other side of the smoke. Again, the tiniest of slivers. Oh. I mean, we're talking a game of inches here. Investing the ult to flush him out of that corner. Spike not playing it yet. Now Brock committing to it as Mada takes a little bit of aggressive space, gets flashed off, and he dies.
What a shot.
The defense bolstered up and reinforced with the numbers advantage, and it's gone bad from bad to worse. As Brock falls, Finesse and Sam trying to hang on to this and white knuckle their way through it. Again, it's going to have to be on to Sam, a 1v2 with 37 HP. Can he play hero again? He's done everything that NRG have asked for and then some. Once again, his number has been called! And he delivers the Red Bull clutch for NRG!
A magician on this Omen. His positioning is on point. His reaction time is so fast. And they line up for him here.
One enemy remains.
Beautiful. Dude, they're so overlaid, you can,
They tried to double swing him, but that off angle.
Come on.
Just not expected.
They can't stop me.
Yep. They haven't been able to stop him yet.
20-9, a man possessed.
Saving NRG. And Finesse, he liked what he saw at that C site. He sees something abusable.
And he's gonna have to abuse it quick because they're nipping at their heels. Furia have already taken all the A main space.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They're gonna have to speed up here, but that one clove smoke, enough to delay rotations to maybe come through in time. That Vice ultimate and that stealth drone, that makes it so NRG are confident to hit this site.
Part of the problem, though, is that ult shouldn't have hit the other members of Furia. So they are going to be able to fight back here. Sam, again, lighting up the kill feed.
Fade ult invested. It hits a lot of members, but I just feel like it's a waste. NRG haven't even tapped Spike yet. They're just holding.
Yeah, but they've got him. I mean, they've got him corralled. They've got him controlled. Now they're going to try to fight back for the site, and Pure Eyes will fall. NRG in a really good position here to tie us up at 9 apiece. Oh. A flawless round as we're tied.
NRG were ready for all that aggression. They used utility to get onto the actual site, and maybe they tapped the Spike once, but they were holding for the walk-in, for the Flood. They understand that they had complete advantage here.
Another multi-kill round for Sam.
He's nasty right
that's
now.
3 for him. I mean, 23-9 right now.
Nice, bro.
Figure out however much he's getting paid and then double it. Because he is, he's been a savior for NRG this map.
Yeah, and the last 2 calls have been towards C now. A fast tap of the door at A for NRG, baiting out a potential trap play and a freeze again. Should be able to see that the door was tapped towards that C site. I don't think you can commit here if you're NRG. You have to re-clear that C space. 5 members towards this side of the map for Furia.
This is a tricky spot because much like we were talking about in the previous round, you either accelerate or you have to go back and re-clear, but it seems like NRG are kind of stalling out here.
Yeah, they gotta be careful. They're waiting a little bit too long here.
And you look at the ult. Rafa has his ult. He's got the stun at the ready.
And the problem is they're still showing, so it's not like they've completely cut out noise. But what is this proactivity?
That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt real bad. How much further does Havoc go? In fact, he throws it in reverse. 40 seconds left in the round.
I mean, but that's the breach ult gone, so yeah, delayed. But is it enough? Paranoia now out.
Sada waiting on the other side. The stun, the flash, and Prize fully stunned, gets 2. There's 3 on the round. Khalil gets in on another, and Finesse, in the blink of an eye, is left in a 1v5. 9 bullets left, 13 seconds in the round.
Safe. He's safe.
10
I
seconds
mean,
left.
cosmetic as ever, huh? The neon sliding to her, running through. I mean, Prize, he's been pretty quiet. He looked great against G2. But he's been quiet against NRG here. That might be enough to fire him up. And if he can get online, get into the form that he was, taking out head-to-heads against players like Leaf, all of a sudden, maybe you can make a case for Furia to close this map out. Something that they haven't been able to do yet. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Gotta love that.
Yep.
Maybe next time Mata's gonna have to do a little bit of jumping into smokes, make it a little bit harder for him to get headshotted like that. I mean, that's rough though. Yeah, he made the right play. I mean, what can you do? So NRG will take their last time out of regulation.
You know, there's been a lot of conversation about Mike's and the what he's been able to inject into this team. But a lot of that conversation, Dre, has been around his defensive prowess.
Yes.
And how he was the one who was running the defensive side for 100 Thieves when he was alongside Sean. And well, you kind of wonder what this conversation looks like here, that NRG are down, are on the attack, and they're looking to put Furia away.
And I think a lot of that conversation has to revolve around the fact that you haven't really played a 4-1 at all or a 3-1-1. You don't have that info on the extremities to know what's been going on, if util has even been used there in the first place. So I imagine now you're going to see a little bit more of a spread default on the attacking side. We've already seen Finesse call a great attack half with manipulating rotations, weathering the storm of some of these traps from Furia. But that one small change from Furia to just get ahead of the curve and understand that NRG don't have somebody on the extremity opposite of where they're showing.
And it did look like a little bit of a 1-1-3 at the beginning. A main claimed by Furia.
This might be a speed up play, a nice little cheeky set play. Mata's gonna wrap all the way around to that C-side heat. It's only him here.
Brother, you are in trouble.
Great stun.
Suppressed, trying to hold the line, gets his one, but Finesse is on the trade.
He can't commit the ult.
Oh, he'd have nowhere to go.
Still a deposit front B Som. A lot riding on his shoulders here, but he gets caught.
Meanwhile, Mata still playing back towards spawn. A little pacey on the other side of this. Finesse is gonna have a lot to do here.
Yeah, that wall did go up, so he does have the info. Someone's here. Brock is there to help him.
Perched over his shoulder, trying to help where he can. But now he's flashed. He's got nowhere to go. He gets dealt with. Really nice dink out from Brock. Trying to take a step back, invest a little bit of utility, while Mata, again, trying to patch every single hole he possibly can. Brock left in a 1v4. Dash through as Havoc gets 2.
Dialed on, Doug. I thought they nerfed that. Neon sliding accuracy seems to still be in full effect. Havoc just completely decimates that. But the post plants of NRG, it was such a silent retake, clearing out Som front B, understanding that he's gotten so much value from that spot. I mean, it's just tough at that point. Paranoia was perfect onto Finesse. He gets cleared there no matter what. And you can tell now from the emotions of Furia, they know they got this. A control again early on for Furia. This time around, NRG's reaction is going to be to take fast C mound. But the problem is when you're running against this Neon, the rotations are so quick. Tap of a door to re-clear some of that space front B. And it's just quiet across the board right now. A is going to have to be re-cleared. Finesse and Brock are working that.
One suppressed.
Khalil.
Cape spotted.
He's got to get out of there.
And seems like he will be able to do so.
Good pushback from NRG.
Rafa has his ult. I mean, his stun. And that will be a problem if they try to... The one benefit is maybe they can contact out, and there's no way Rafa knows.
It's the perfect play.
Perfectly timed. Mata was there to punish. Som will join him. Numbers advantage for the attack.
Now you cannot lose this post plant.
No.
You have to have the trades go in your favor. Get good positioning here, but that 1v1 gives Furia a way in.
Havoc has to be careful. I know he has an advantage here, but if he overheats, it's gone. And in this instance, so is he. Prize and Khalil left in a 2v4.
Yeah, and then they're getting out of here. Save the guns. Keep your economy looking really good. A great call from Finesse there, re-clearing that A control. You push back the Omen on A rubble. You for sure keep 2 members there with that door being broken. And the walk into C, that's something that NRG haven't done yet. A very smart play. A lot of it has been using utility, showing and going. And this time, they're the ones that catch Furia off guard. So we're within 1 now. NRG, they're gonna have to dig deep, use that experience that they have on this roster of champions to bring this one back. Havoc went a little bit too quick here.
Yeah. And that's what we were talking about, right? Like, he had the advantage after the kill on the finesse, but if you fully oversend that, you're going to lose the advantage you had.
And you still had paranoia as well. Maybe that could have been used. This time it's looking like it's going to be a C front B crunch play from Furia. Let's see if they decide to full send it.
Are they going to be ready for this?
I don't think NRG will be.
The Prowler through, Havoc pops the ult, they're stunned up, they're trying to tuck tail and get away, but Havoc gets to make that 3! Disaster for NRG! Destroyed as Furia get to map point.
Ran down, all 5 members dying in spawn. Not even able to leave the barrier. And that 3rd kill from Havoc, full jumping as well. I mean, the turn of the flash. Oh, man.
What a time for that call. To draw that up at a pivotal round is insane. Now Furia find themselves on map point for the first time that this roster, this Furia roster, not subs in mind, first time they're in a position to win a map since July 7th of last year.
Unbelievable.
And to do it against NRG, no less. But there's still work to be done. 1 kill traded right back. Havoc has to get out.
Yeah.
Dancing around the Armageddon. Meanwhile, Heat has taken a lot of space C. The one benefit for NRG is that there's nobody playing contain on the northern side of the map, so they can flood out.
Finesse has been hunting here. He's taking all this space. He's taking things into his own hands, but somehow Prize knows.
And he gets a kill on the Finesse. Of course he does. It's now Brock, Ethan, and Sam left to try to play Savior. Just 2 now. He drops him. It's all onto Sam, and he will fall. Furia take Lotus.
They figured it out. They weren't able to close it out against G2. But something about Lotus for this Furia roster, they actually maneuver around the map like a cohesive unit. And it's not all just mechanical talent that prevails for them. We saw set plays. We saw good chains of utility. What an impressive win from the side of Furia against NRG. And now NRG are going to Pearl Dug, where they looked lost.
That double duelist comp that I know Sean has a lot to share about, and I know you mentioned a couple things you wanted to talk about as well. Yeah, did not look great. Again, Furia, this roster with Khalil and Havoc just won a map for the first time since July of 2024.
Yeah.
And it was against NRG. We were talking about this prior to the show starting. We thought, okay, let's pretend there's a world in which Furia are able to pull this off. The implications of that would be devastating.
For NRG.
They'd be stunning. And now we find ourselves in a position where, like, oh, holy crap, this might happen.
And confidence right now from the side of NRG, if they do lose this series, is at an all-time low.
We'll see what the Death thinks about Lotus. We'll see what Pearl has in store. We'll be right back.
Red Bull gives you wings.